Today we're going to look at a trend that's so strong for spring and it's so simple to do. It's got a little bit of pattern work, but I want you to not be afraid of that. I promise you'll do it and you'll love it. I'm going to start with pattern number 195. It's the sweater set. And you all, I'm starting with that because I know most of you know how simple it is, how easy it is. And we're going to actually make it, it's 3 pieces. It's only the front, the back, and the sleeve. And we're actually going to make it 2 pieces, which means that much less time and that much easier. And it's just going to take 1 step to get it there. So I've got my front and my back here and my sleeve. What I'm going to do is just fold the sleeve in half vertically. Fold the sleeve in half. It'll mirror image itself front and back. Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to pretend there's no seam allowances. I don't actually have to make a pattern for this, but I can if I want to. And this is commonly at the stores, in fashion, whatever, it's called the cap sleeve. But we have options. The cap sleeve, when you say cap sleeve, it usually refers to the fact that it's just barely covering the shoulder, just, like a cap. But I don't have to make it that way. I can make it longer. Like the shirt I have on is exactly what I've done. I like it to cover my arm a little bit. So I went down about 7 inches from the top of the sleeve is how far I went down. And then like a 1/2 inch for the hem. So go down, maybe 8 inches. And that's all of the sleeve you're going to use. You're just going to use that little section. Again, you could cut this off and copy it. Doesn't make a difference. I just want to show you how easy it is. If you love pattern work, you'll have a tendency to want to do it. And if you don't, you won't. Before we do that pattern work though, let me show you, because once you do this, you can see that you can just do it quickly with so many different kinds of great prints. The one I have on, this one, same thing. You notice what we're doing is we're taking away the seam. And anytime you take away the seam, you're going to get a little wrinkle there. But because the way we're going to do this, it's really going to make a difference. And that little extra there is going to be very minimal. So you're going to weigh out, what's my fabric, what's my time, what do I want? And for me, sometimes I just want a different little top. I don't want every single one to just be the exact same. So somehow by leaving out a seam, it's faster, quicker, and I just really like it. All right, so I've got my sleeve. I fold it in half. I've determined how long I want the sleeve to be. The rest I'm just going to kind of fold and get out of my way. All right, so that's kind of my pattern. And that's going to be the same for the front and the back. And then I'm just going to lay it down on my pattern. And the way I'm going to lay it down is I'm actually going to overlap the seam allowance at the shoulder seam. And then I'm going to not touch all the way to the side seam, because if I touched all the way to the side seam, I'd be losing a little bit of circumference. I don't want to do this. So I'm just going to put it here at the shoulder, and then you can see, and I've kind of done it to the back so that you could see the angle that goes. The reason why a lot of ready-to-wears are so bad is because they actually come straight out and they go like that. And there's quite a bit of difference when you do that between this point and this point, and that's what leaves a lot of gauby extra. Whereas you can determine the pitch, and the one who's great on this is Armani. His are pitched beautifully. This is called a kimono sleeve, but it's pitched beautifully. And of course, the different length of the kimono sleeve is called the cap. And like I said, the cap sometimes can have a seam, but cap sleeve is just considered a small little sleeve. It can be a set-in or a kimono, either way. So we're creating the kimono sleeve, and we're doing it with any sleeve length that you want to. So we'll call it the kimono sleeve. Anyway, we'll overlap it there, and then I can determine the pitch of this by how much room I leave extra at the bust. I'm not going to leave a lot of extra room so that there won't be a lot of excess. The higher up this goes, because all of that won't actually stay in the air, the fabric will fall down, and that's what creates all those extra folds in there. So all I'm going to do is determine that, overlap that, and cut that all in one. And same with the front. I do exactly the same as the front. So I overlap it here, get a little bit of a gap. And then if you notice here, the way I connect it is just with a little U. And that's nothing scientific or difficult or anything. Just connect it. Just make sure that when you connect those 2 parts, you have the same shape in the front that you do in the back, because they're going to actually sew together. So that's the main thing you need to be careful of. All right, so you can see here, and you can see again the one I have on too. It's just simple. because all you have now is I sewed the French dart, and then I sewed the shoulder seams, and then underneath the side seams, hemmed it, finished it. The fold over elastic, in both cases I finished it with a fold over elastic, and the reason I did is whenever you have a busy print like this, now this one is actually the panel print that we have up right now, so it's just it's a panel, it's really beautiful, so it graduates in color from top to bottom. And so because it was doing that, and you can see that at the bottom it's completely black, I did the white fold over because I wanted it to literally look like it was graduating. So the lighter being up here, I chose the white to be at the top. After I did it, I thought, you know what, I wonder if it would look better in black. But I stuck to the white. I like the white. And again, I wanted it to look lighter up here, darker at the bottom. The reason I chose fold over elastic for both of them is because whenever you have a print, it's great to stop it with something to stop it. And the contrast does a great job of stopping a print on a t-shirt. So with mine, I did the black because it matched, it coordinated, and it was appropriate to do it, but it still gave it that nice little contrast rather than just folding it over and stitching, which y'all know you can do, but you know, just an idea. Or you can use the neckband on the 117, the cut up tee. That's a great way to do it also. You could take just a solid piece of black and create the neckline that way as well. We've showed you how to do French darts on YouTube. We showed you how to do the fold over elastic. So everything sewing wise is on there. We're not even going to sew today. It's just too easy to do. But I would encourage you, when you want to just make a quick little top, I mean, even quicker than the set-in sleeve. Some of you are afraid of a set-in sleeve. You're a little nervous about it. This is great. Create your pattern. Determine the sleeve length you want. When you do this, I would recommend you go longer. You can always cut it off. So you're just guesstimating. This is all styling. The 8 inches, I was just trying to give you a guide as to what I have on. That's what this is. But it's your top, and you can decide what it is you like and how you want it and all of those variables. Though those variables are fun. Don't look at them as any other way other than fun. So we're going to call this a little kimono sleeve. You could even do this long sleeve. And you see this sleeve a lot. The reason I wanted to do it is Calvin Klein, Ellie Tahari, several of them have done a little sports shirt. And they're for workout and everything else, and regular street life too. But they're just a little sleeve, so that especially nice if you put on a jacket. You just almost don't even notice you have a sleeve on. So it's just a great style that I'm seeing a lot of. We haven't done a lot of kimono sleeves, and the main reason why I didn't do kimono in the beginning is I really wanted you to differentiate good wrinkles from bad wrinkles. There are such a thing as good wrinkles. These wrinkles, they're part of the body of, that's the way the pattern's designed. It's designed to have wrinkles. Those wrinkles will go vertical on your body. They'll hang out just right here. They'll be above the bust. They won't hang out at the bust. They'll be above the bust because that seam is missing. And you can see that when I cross over these two pieces, I have that extra fabric there. I have added in fabric where I wouldn't have if I would have had a seam. And that's going to reveal itself on the body. So the good wrinkles are okay. They're by choice. And I'm going to leave them there and not try to get rid of them. And if you just can't stand to do the wrinkles, then this is not the top for you. And you're going to go ahead and stick with the set-in sleeve. Happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.